Good morning, afternoon, evening, and night, depending on where you find yourself in the globe. This is Kingdom Economic Forum in partnership with the New African Concept. For the last 2 weeks, we've tried to come up with a solution when it comes to the foundation under the broader theme, the philosophy of nation building. We are still at the foundation level. We identified a problem and we are trying to come up with solution. And today we want to end giving other aspect of the solution so that next week we move to the other aspect of the philosophy of nation building. Yes. Or what we said last week was that we actually touched on politics and economy. We made you aware that the kind of politics that was left behind was more of the colonial structure where winner takes all kind of politics, and issue of meritocracy was something that we were pushing when it comes to the economic aspect, reforming the economic foundation from extractive to equity. We also mentioned that, and I don't know, this today I will let Doug give a summary of what we discussed last week. I was trying to do it, but I think Doug will help me so that we continue from today. Doug.
Yes, so from last week we explored two things. That is the need for the political adjustment as well as the need for the economic adjustment.
Sure.
And for the political, we were looking at the fact that the state normally produced by the kind of politics that we do, or the kind of democracy, how we have gone about it, has produced the power state, which is the winner takes it all, as you rightly said, and then the welfare state, which has made citizens overly dependent on the system. And the shift is that we must shift from that to inclusivity. Where now every citizen feels involved in it. And then to feel involved is not only to talk about it, but the functioning government must also make the people feel involved through the decentralization, as we made mention of, and then other allocations that makes people feel that, oh, though I may be at this part of the nation, though I may be coming from this tribe, though I may be coming from this religion, or maybe I may be in this very political party, at the end of the day, we feel involved in the machinery of governance. And then, so we make mention of the power state, the welfare state, which must give room for inclusivity, as well as that of the decentralization. And at the economic level, the focus was on equity. And we said that for equity to be achieved, as against the extractive colonial heritage we had, and for which we are still unfortunately going by. But for equity to run, then it must run on the wheels of merit, or meritocracy. And merit will also bring forth that healthy competition, because now people will know that if it will be, then it is up to me. If it will be, then it is up to my intensity. My effort will not go waste. And that will bring healthy competition, which in turn will also open the floodgates for creativity, innovation, which also in turn affects the economic growth of our nation. So these were the two major things we sought to explore and call for a need to make adjustment to our political and social and economic structures. Yes, to move from extractive to inclusivity.
To move from extractive to inclusivity. Today we want to look at leveraging traditional institutions from para system to partners, and then look at the constitutional bedrock, a new social contract, trying to look at these foundations, because when we get them correct, it will help us to have the nation we all desire. So, Doug, Over to you on that.
Yes. So going forward, so once again, we've seen that we made mention primarily of the identity, which is very important. And we've also made mention of the politics and then the economics.
Yeah.
So I think today we can touch on the place of the traditional leadership and then also connect it with the constitution. Maybe we can start with the constitution.
Sure.
Yeah, so the constitution is one of the parameters of statehood. Because for us to have a state, we said that we must have a defined territory, a government, a constitution, and then a population. So the constitution is one of the things that, if well crafted, can be a binding element.
Yeah.
So you realize that the constitution can play a double role, both as a functional role, a legal role in statehood, and then a binding role in nationhood.
Sure.
Because its natural role is more of statehood for a constitution, because it is part of the government and then the territory and then things like that. So the constitution plays primarily a legal role in statehood. But there is a way we can engage the constitution that will have, because for us to have a nation, there must be a binding element. The constitution, if well engaged, can serve that double role. Its legal role in statehood and then its binding role in nationhood.
So we can make our constitution a social contract.
A social contract.
There's a saying that says that a broken social contract is a nation living on a borrowed time.
Verily.
So therefore, if I get what you are saying, it means that with our constitution, we should be able to answer 3 questions. The one, what do citizens legitimately own the state? Number 2, what must the state deliver to earn legitimacy? And the third one, where does this bargain stand today in Africa?
Great.
So the constitution must be able to answer these questions.
Great.
Wow.
Great. And yeah, so that is, so if these questions are properly answered, then it becomes a social contract. Because when we are talking about social, then we are engaging more of nation than state. The state is a bit more those legalities and things like so. Right now, we are engaging the constitution along more of its legal engagement rather than the social contract. So the legal is, this is how it is. So at the end of the day, how it plays out. So these 3 questions, what becomes the role? It connects with the question we raised under the political one. That is under the dependency. So that it is because we have not answered this question. That is why we have a system where we are the masses or the citizens are dependent on the politics. Have we asked ourselves as a citizen, what is primarily my role towards the nation? And it must be clear, even if it is not captured essentially within the articles of the constitution. We can have certain bylaws or certain narratives, statutory provisions that makes it clear. Just imagine just take any adult at random, not even maybe illiterates. Go to the workplace, go to even the campuses, and then pick any graduates at random, and then inquire that what are your roles and responsibilities and rights as a citizen. You'll be shocked, even those who read political science.
No, they wouldn't know.
Even those who read even law, you'll be shocked. They may be quoting it from its legal article, this. But here we are talking about the social dimension, where every citizen is aware. And Intino said, so whatever I am doing, then the question becomes, how does it affect the advancement of the nation?
That's a point.
That is the first question. And if the Constitution serves that, then it will go beyond its legal implications and now become a binding element. And once it is able to bind us together, then it is not just a legal provision under the statute. It has now become an item.
A living document.
A living document, which is breathing. And now that is what statehood, the nationhood is, comes in.
And interestingly, there's this Western Enlightenment ideal on when it comes to the social contract. It has this classical exchange. Citizens give taxes, obedience to laws, allegiance, and participation. And state provides security, justice, public goods, and representation. But then the African reality check. This is the African reality check. This model assumes a pre-existing cohesive nation state with established institutions. But what if that foundation itself is contested? And that is why we are trying to, because we see we like importing certain things
without contextualizing
the situation to see that we have the structures.
That will support what we are.
In fact, I don't know this Constitutional Review Committee, whether they were able to contextualize, whether I'm here to review it, but we need to look at it from that aspect. Else we will go and bring certain terminologies. I will not be surprised they have introduced terminologies that are being played out in the world without looking at a situation
that is working for others.
That is working for others, and we are trying to import it. Until we look at our foundation, as we are discussing here, no new idea would work for us. We need to contextualize. Maybe let me allow you.
So that's the twist between adopt and adapt.
Adapt, sure.
So we normally take it hook, line, and sinker. There are many things that requires. That is why I remember when Obama came to Ghana the other time, he said that what Ghana or Africa needs is not strong men, but strong institutions. Now, these things are fundamental for you to run a lot of superstructures. And I think I made reference to one of the suggestions under the Constitutional Review in terms of the presidential term, that the suggestion from 4 to 5. Now, that is a superstructure suggestion. There are basic fundamentals that we have not solved first. So until that is done, even a good intention will still fall flat. And what was meant to be a good intention will come back biting us because the fundamentals were not really built. So those three, can we revisit those three questions? So one, the questions that it seeks to answer. One is more or less
what do citizens legitimately own the state?
Yes, and it must be clear that these are it. And then the second would then be the state
deliver to earn legitimacy.
Yes. So we must also, and these things must be, these things must be extracted and then taught. So that when even the class 6 person, just imagine the beauty that a class 6 person is able to tell you hands down that these are my responsibilities to the state, and these are the responsibilities of the state towards me.
That's a point.
So that now I can hold you by your expected responsibility. So it is not the responsibility of the state to give me some trinkets for me to go and vote. It is not part of it. It is the state to provide maybe A, B, C. So in so doing, we build a solid system. And that is why for the young and emerging generation, which I know, that is the new Ghanaian. The new Ghanaian must be built differently. He must understand that this is my responsibilities and this is what I must commit in doing. And then the state also must also understand priorities. So, for instance, various ministers, minister maybe for sanitation, minister for this, at the beginning of the year, we must know when we get to your website, or even if it will take a press conference, we must know that for this year, this is what you intend to do. And either quarter or midway. It shouldn't just be in the one, so mid-year budget. We need so and so extra billion to meet up, and then the year ends. And then it runs like that. So in short, if you, the citizen, that is why before you point a finger at the leader, you must understand that you have a role to play.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, that democracy rides on the active participation. This is what it connects with. So are you doing your responsibilities as expected of you as a citizen? That is one. And then number two, if you are not holding the leaders to accountability, you are not being a good citizen. So not holding leaders accountable for their deeds and actions and decisions is an expression of irresponsibility as a citizen. We must hold them accountable, and we must allow and make them know that they are there because of us. And I don't know what was the third.
The third one was to try to find out what does this bargain stand today in Africa.
Oh, okay. That becomes in our context. And then for us, I think that is a no. It's something else.
In fact, it's something else.
So,
in fact, if you do the diagnosis, there are some questions that is being raised here. Is it broken, unfinished, or being rewritten? This is interesting. Is our situation broken?
All of the above.
Unfinished. Or being rewritten. And this is
it's serious.
And you are true that all these three simultaneously true in different places and dimensions.
Yes, it plays out. Yeah, it plays out. So what the Constitution. So our point on the Constitution is that the Constitution must go beyond serving as a legal document for the state. It must establish itself as a social contract and a binding element for the nation of Ghana.
That's the point. It should be a social contract.
It should be a social contract. And these things should be teased out so that everyone is going through. Everyone is going through. So you know your roles, you know your responsibilities, you know your privileges, you know your rights. And then we can hold. When we do this, the beauty is the leadership of the land is going to be reserved for people who are cut out for it.
That's the point.
And that is what we mean by strong. If you have a strong institution, even if accidentally a wrong leader appears, the institution will put the person in check.
In fact, you are listening to Kingdom Economic Forum, and then from this analysis, though, from our perspective, from Kingdom Economic Analysis, there are three pillars for a renewed social contract. The first pillar is recognition before extraction. What it means is that the state must first see, count, and respect all its citizens. Legal identity, digital inclusion, and cultural recognition. So the point is that you cannot have a contract with someone you don't acknowledge.
That's right.
So it's important that the state must recognize its citizens before extraction. The second one is the performance before compliance. Delivery, visible, tangible public goods first. See the school, then you pay the tax. So the minimum viable governance as a starting point. So we need to, as citizens, we have to make sure that the taxes that we are paying, they are using it.
It's reflecting.
It's reflecting. Yeah. And the third pillar, I think we are proposing, is the mutuality beyond transaction. We should move from taxes for service to shared national project.
Yes.
National service, community work, participatory budgeting. Rebuilding as co-creators, not just consumers of governance.
Yes.
So when we are able to bring the citizens on board, in fact, within my district, they were trying to educate my people that they should pay their taxes.
Okay.
And as I was thinking in my mind, what we need to educate them. You don't just come and, in fact, they were encouraging them to pay, but you haven't educated them
to
know the essence, the reasons why they have to be paying.
You're only giving them information.
Giving them information. I was just thinking through, and I think that if, like we are saying, we need to move our constitution from a legal base to a social contract. When we do that, then we'll be able to bring the statehood into the nationhood.
Yes.
We can merge it.
We can merge it.
So that's the point I wanted.
With that, the same document as a constitution, when you bring it under statehood, it is serving as a legal document.
That's the point.
When you bring it under nationhood, it's serving as a binding social contract.
That's
so beautiful. So beautiful. And if you want to I think the third point is very, very powerful. Is it performance also before compliance?
Before compliance.
Very, very excellent. You see, so, and it should be a template for any kind of change that you want to drive. So, for instance, when you get to a space, you see, if you don't understand these dynamics, then that is when you will just approach things with brute force, especially maybe you've gone to a place new and then it looks like things are not working. So you just fire people here and there. If you want to compel compliance or demand compliance, then you must perform.
Yeah.
So in this case, you must analyze the problem and challenges and then do your part of it that, okay, there seems to be an infrastructural challenge.
Sure.
So maybe, you post a teacher for now, especially the teacher for now, doctor for to some of these places, And then what is your approach? Our approach is that if you don't go, we will not pay you. So you want to compel compliance.
Yeah.
But you as a government or as a government or as a state, have you performed?
That's the point.
This place that you want me to go, because many of my classmates, they go school, we've passed through. His uncle is a minister.
Yeah,
did not to Accra.
Yeah,
he'll be crampua. Me yadi Accra chain.
Yeah.
Then you have pushed me to a place.
Yeah.
The place has no light, and you are not making any provision to incentivize me. You have a problem with performance. It will be out of place to engage and to enforce compliance.
Sure.
This is so when we have it well crafted in the constitution, what will happen is that if you, the minister, maybe whether minister for education or minister for health, you want to compel compliance, the citizens can go under that constitution or that provision, constitutional provision or statutory provision that there is the need for you to perform before you can demand compliance. So electricity is a light put anywhere. Can you put in certain measures so that it will compensate for my going to that place?
That's the point.
Inti madam for no buy be Accra ni Kumasi no. I will say bibi wo ho a me a me call that place less privileged. And I say deprived no. Be as call such a place we will give you free accommodation. We will give you an extra X amount to encourage or to beef you up. And then ABC. Oh yes, sir, you are engaging performance. Performance before compliance. So it becomes an approach where people will now approach. When you do this, you see the compliance will almost come from an organic.
It's organic one.
And to come as an organic one.
But they've seen you working.
So they want support. Say, like the thing is working.
Yeah.
So means so mame embo me humodin.
That's a point.
And it will be free from partisan. In fact, that is one of our greatest headaches. Everything is interpreted from partisan lens.
Yeah.
Everything. So the same thing, one party will say that it is good, another party will say that it is bad. It is almost like Sikasem and I say S Gracia. That may be the point. And everyone, there's a common, and yes, it becomes partisan interest. But as we always say, we see a new tomorrow. So that is for the constitutional base.
Wonderful.
I don't know if there's any other thing, or then we move to the
no, maybe let's move to the traditional.
Yeah, so in summary, the constitutional element, to reiterate it, is that the constitution must go beyond as serving as a legal document of the state to also become a binding element of nationhood, which expresses as a social contract.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So now let's look at maybe the traditional aspect.
Yes. So the traditional aspect, I think we've delved into it a bit.
Some time ago.
We've done a lot of.
We have done some work there. Yeah.
So it is just like the state and nationhood. So the nationhood here will refer to maybe our traditional leaders, and then the state will refer to the government structure. We could see that there wasn't a proper integration of the traditional leadership, which was our indigenous leadership, when we were carrying over to engage democracy. And because the system was not properly recognized, I think it was one of the points that recognition, or something with recognition, because the system has not properly recognized the traditional leadership, it has created a system where it is almost like a parallel governance. So the democratic governance is moving somewhere. And then the traditional governance is also moving somewhere. But what we are suggesting is that through some of these engagements, we can have it is possible, especially when we are able to engage much of the decentralization. What will happen is that now we involve the traditional leaders, so that their role does not become only attending ceremonies and those things. No, their role become very, very competitive, where they are contributing to their society wherever they find themselves. So we should find a way to have that communication and binding element between the local government structure and then the traditional structure, where now the various chiefs are actively involved in the development. So in that case, because when I believe strongly that when the traditional leaders really decide to sit up, because many of them are a bit more passive. Inti I say, oh, na ye ade, ana we aba, we ni ba ye no, am factor bebre. Inti I say, ode monya na yen hwe. But if they can now be actively pushed into the system, even with these elements, then what is going to happen is that there is going to be a powerful drive for change, because they will now begin to own it up. There will be an element of ownership that, Adie said they sit there, and then let us really drive and then bring about massive changes within our localities. And when it starts, the people's respect and regard for the traditional leadership will also go very high.
Very high.
So at the end of the day, what makes a chief is not just the palaces, and then the cloth, and then the traditional regalias.
No.
All those things is good. At least it maintains the traditional heritage. But we must contextualize. We must contextualize, because time na etwemuno na sebiobi ahemfo had their way of doing things. Now things have changed. So we can still maintain the value in what they were doing, but contextualize and then make some adjustments. And then the people we are dealing with, it is not so much of the size of the resplendence of the the palace. So where you go to a place and then the land, the people are a bit more impoverished. Now, so is almost like you're importing from Italy. But you feel free while all the other buildings, the environment itself, it just cannot be. It just
cannot be. Ladies and gentlemen, we have taken 3 weeks to try to look at the solution as far as our foundation of nationhood and statehood is concerned. We have looked at the need for us to have identity as a nation. We've taken time to look at the fact that we need to look at our political structure, from centralized control to inclusive governance. When it comes to issue of economy, we said that we need to move from extractive to equity. Today we try to look at issue of the constitution, and our advice is that we need to move from that legalistic constitution to have what we call a social contract. In that we are pulling or we are advising that we should integrate respected traditional leaders into the governance structure through a constitutionally recognized advisory council at the national and regional level. And we believe that they will be able to advise on land use, cultural matters, and conflict resolution and local governance, acting as a bridge between the modern state and the pre-colonial social structures. The outcome will be that there will be a legitimacy or the state in the eyes of the local communities, and then and it will utilize existing strategies for stability and development when we involve the chiefs in our governance. But then we want to say that all these things will not be a quick fix issue.
No.
It's a generational problem, a generational project. I want to take it again. This is not a quick fix.
Yeah.
It is a generational project that we have to become intentional in trying to solve. There's a need for us to have national dialogue and truth telling to acknowledge the problem that we have. Number 2, we need to design a new framework through an inclusive constituent assembly. We need to have a phased implementation of political and economic reforms and a sustained investment in the identity and forging programs, as we have mentioned, the education and all those things. But listen to me, this goal is to transition from a colonial accident to an intentional union.
Yeah.
We move from a state that tolerates its internal nation to a nation state that integrates them as a building blocks of a stronger, more equitable, and truly cohesive whole. The strength will no longer come from suppressing diversity, but from channeling it into a unified purpose. That is what we want to achieve. Be able to solve all these problems we have identified. We are saying that the strength will no longer come from suppressing diversity, but from channeling it into a unified purpose. We see a new tomorrow. We believe that Ghana will become what God has destined. But trust me, it's not going to happen only through prayers. We need to become intentional. All hands on deck. Come next week, within the philosophy of nation building, we want to look at the existing institution, the various institutions, the trust. Do we really trust the institutions that we have? We need to look at that, because you see, if you like Obama, like you rightly mentioned, Obama said we don't need strong men.
Yeah.
We need institution. The question I'm asking, the institution of trust. If the social contract is the agreement, institutions are the mechanism that enforce it.
That's right.
So the question we want to look at in the next episode is that how do we build impartial institutions in partial societies? We will look at certain case studies in other places. And the key question we want to answer, can institutions be stronger than the societies that create them? Can institutions be stronger than the societies that create them? And that's what we want to unfold in our next episode, so that we will have strong institutions to build strong nations. So that until we come your way, keep in mind that the next question we want to answer, can institutions be stronger than the societies that create them? We want to find solution to this. This has been Kingdom Economic Forum, discussing the philosophy of nation building. Please try and share the links, follow us, subscribe to it, and don't forget to go to and download this app, the YouthWise app.
YouthWise.
We know that it's going to help you to make decisions in this life. Life is about decision. You are where you are because of the decision you made yesterday. If you want to change the result you're experiencing, then opportunity has been granted for you to make another decision. But I don't want to make a decision without having relevant information. That is why we have this Youth app. Go to the Play Store, download YouthWise app, and your life will never be the same. Until we come your way next week, bye-bye and God bless you.